Good afternoon. This really goes out to, of course, everybody here at YouTube and LinkedIn. So my purpose, other than looking at myself and realizing I could use a nice little haircut, my purpose really today is just to quickly mention maybe a few things that I've noticed this morning as I was reading on LinkedIn that continuously pops up and I see it over and over again. And it's A, should you try to give up your phone for a few hours, a few days? Very rare, but if you want to do it permanently, and just tied into that with part B is, well, what can we do to make sure that we have our space? And I think that's truly important. So just a few thoughts that I had with that. First, I have to say, I really agree with sometimes we're just too connected, right? Meaning we're talking to one another, and even though I may be, let's say, in front of an individual, the problem with us always being in touch and talking to one another is at times, let's say you and I were right in front of each other's face, but yet over half the conversation really is with somebody else remotely somewhere around the world, whether it's in the same city, it's down the street, or halfway across the world. And that can really pose a problem because it means we're not really here in the moment. And I think that can just be really detrimental to not only our mental health, but really our relationships. Like, I mean, what the hell are we really doing if literally we're face to face with another human being and yet we feel that we have to be in contact with somebody else, again, remotely elsewhere? So I just want to draw to attention that, I think it's a great idea from time to time to truly just disconnect. And some of the ways I do it, I use features on my phone like Do Not Disturb. I think that's highly appropriate. It's really important. And on top of those features, sometimes just putting in airplane mode from time to time. So let's say, my wife and I, we go out on a date night, or I'm spending some time with family. Throw that bad boy on Do Not Disturb. And then that way, if you're really concerned about like emergency contacts getting a hold of you, you can allow those people to ring through and dial through, which means they're going to call you in an emergency. I mean, texting is kind of odd to me in emergency, if you're in a really bad situation. Mind you, could it happen? Sure. But again, just knowing that you really cannot control your environment 100%, but what you can control is just your time with people in front of you, your relationships, and just really letting it be. The odds of, something really detrimental happening because you're somewhat disconnected, I think is a fear that is really blown out of proportion and just really not rational at all. So I just want to ask you all, LinkedIn, YouTube, what are some of your thoughts with that? What do you find so important about you with being connected? Do you find that we're often way too connected and that we could use some time to really focus on people in front of us? Do you think it's really not a problem that just the thought of it really is just blown out of proportion? Or do you really think it's just really in everyone's imagination and we should just get off the topic and move on? So share your thoughts, put it in the links, or even better yet, other than typing it up, feel free to send a video back. So I'd love to hear what you guys think.